Hello, my name is Keanu Balls 46, and today I'm going to be talking about live service games. Now, the problem I have with live service games isn't particularly the fact that they're live service, but the way they're handled most of the time. I think there was like kind of a golden age for, well, live service, I guess, which was kind of like when Fortnite came out and like kind of quarantine, like 2020 to maybe like 2022. I feel like that was a really good time for live service games because, everyone being locked indoors and plus Fortnite just being kind of like this wave that or tsunami that just hit the world all at once and just everyone was on it, right? So obviously other games started to, become live service or implement the battle pass and things like that. But I feel like we're in such a horrible spot now because of that point in time. Because it was great then, and it offered a nice alternative to the usual single player experience. And it's not like multiplayer games just randomly sprouted out of the ground there. They just definitely transformed into this new thing. Because, let's look at Call of Duty, for example. Call of Duty used to release like map packs and things like that. And, that was great for the time, right? But releasing free content updates was just really cool, to just have this continuously updating game. But I feel like we're at this point where most of these games are just decaying or just they're in horrible spots. Fortnite has resorted to adding like Tung Tung Sahur and like just all this stupid shit to the game, and it feels like every 5 minutes there's a new collab. And it was cool when things like that happened originally, right? Like, I think it was like 2018. No, it was not 2018. No, it was like 2019 or 2020 or something. And they added like that Marvel collab for Chapter 1, Season 8. That was cool because that, it happened prior, but it was like more evolved this time around. And because it was kind of rare for these things to happen, it had impact. And this applies to a bunch of other games though too, where collabs were seen as a cool thing, and because they were rare and they were scarce. But now they're just very unnecessary, and there's so much of them to the point everyone's so fed up. At least I'm fed up with them. And if we look at the popular live service games that are currently out right now, I feel like none of them are to the quality that they were, or just decent games in general. Look at Fortnite, Warzone, Siege, Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6. Those are like the big multiplayer games that are out right now. And I feel like none of them are really good. Warzone just has the worst anti-cheat alive and is filled with a bunch of AI bullshit. Fortnite just sucks now, and it's like a Roblox clone. Oh yeah, also Roblox is just a site that children get groomed on, which like is horrible, but like no one does anything about it for some reason. Like maybe we should, I don't know, put stuff in place so that doesn't happen. But I don't know. Apparently that's too difficult. Oh yeah, also like Roblox, they're like reverting their art style, or maybe not art style is the right word, but I don't know. They're trying to make it like the metaverse. That's really lame. But anyway, all these multiplayer games have just become cash grabs, and I feel like the people who play them are just as stupid as the CEOs pushing out all this slop. Like talk to the average Siege player, and they probably can't formulate a full sentence without their brain just turning off, and then they fall on the floor drooling. I'm kidding. That was an over exaggeration, but yeah, no, I feel like most people who play these games are genuine. I'm gonna have to censor this, but retards, just in general. Like, I don't know where the correlation here, but yeah, like, talk to someone who plays Fortnite consistently in 2026, and they're probably like some 9-year-old who's like been on their iPad since they were 2. It's like I feel like the damage that these games have done, not only to the industry but to people's brains. Like people are just okay with slop being shoved down their throat. But again, look at all the AI stuff coming out now. People are just okay with that. And it's really upsetting because we could have a bunch of really amazing multiplayer games, but people aren't advocating for it, you know? I guess this video is me advocating for good multiplayer games, but I don't really think we need too many more multiplayer games. I think like some of the best multiplayer experiences I've played are just like really good single player games that have multiplayer modes, you know? Really, I'm just thinking about like older Call of Duties, but like that's because they put equal amount of distribution of resources into each mode. So each mode was of quality, right? And even though they reused a bunch of stuff, like each mode still it stood on its own basically. And the shift to just multiplayer, you would think would be a good thing, right? Because it means all those resources can go towards the thing that people play the most. Now, for me personally, I still wish there was the single player part of it, right? Because, you know, when these servers shut down, you can't play the game anymore. And it would be nice to at least be able to do that, or have a mode that I can play offline that is just single player based, you know, that has a story or something, you know? But with all these resources going towards the multiplayer element of these games, for some reason they still feel lackluster. Like, tell me why, you know, the original Modern Warfare 2 had a great single player, multiplayer, and co-op, but then the new Modern Warfare 2 fails on every single mark, even though it had like 10 times the amount of developers and 10 times the amount of resources and 10 times the amount of people who are actually going to buy the game, but the quality is 10 times worse. It makes no sense to me. You would think the more money you put into it, the more developers that are on it, the more people that are interested in said project, you would get better results, but you're getting worse results. And that's obviously just because when there's too many people pissing in the same pot, you know, it fucks up the flavor of your piss. That's a horrible metaphor, but you know what I mean. When there's too many people working on something, like creative ideas can get like misconstrued, and that's probably why a lot of these big multiplayer games are just shit now, because they're originally made with like, I don't know, 100, maybe 500 people with a lot of these games, which is still like a shit ton, you know. But now that it's kind of like gone up triple-fold or tenfold, it becomes complicated. But I think that's why indie games are doing so good right now, because there'll be a game made by like 10 people and it will just blow up because, you know, YouTubers and streamers, they can make silly content on the game and people can have fun with their friends on the game. But again, or not again, I haven't mentioned this, but I feel like this really only works in the PC market because a lot of these indie developers can't get their games on console when they initially release, because there's a lot of fun multiplayer games or friend slop games that have been ported over to consoles as of recent, but were released quite a while ago, so most of the hype has died off. And if you look at the average console player who just plays like Siege and Fortnite, they probably aren't going to spend the $7 on a random indie game they'll spend like 2 minutes in. They're probably just going to spend $40 on a skin in their dog shit game, you know, because I don't get the, the value there. Also, microtransactions. I mentioned them with the Battle Pass thing, but yeah, those are just fucking atrocious now. They're just horrible. You know, I was playing Street Fighter 6, and I would say this is a fairly decent game, but God, it's so expensive. All the stuff in the game. Like, I just wanted a tank top and a pair of pants, and I can only get the tank top because it was too pricey. Because I bought like I think the season 1 pass for Akuma, because like I don't know, I always thought he was really cool and he's fun to play in the game. But that was $20. You know, like luckily it's on sale right now, but still, like $30 for 4 characters. Like, okay, at least make it like 10 to 20. You know, for 4 characters. I feel like, I don't know, they're not even that unique, or actually I haven't played the other 3, so maybe I'm, you know, spitting lies here. But at least with Akuma, it's kind of just a reskin of Ken and Ryu, which is like the whole reason why I wanted him, but still, like, why is it that much? make it $3 to $5 per character, please. You know, don't make it $30 to $40 for some DLC. And then to have deluxe editions of the DLC, that's evil. But again, that game is really good. Yeah, that's just me being passionate about microtransactions. But, you know, companies saw the success of Fortnite, right, with all these microtransactions, and they really thought that if we just did this with every game, like, yeah, it makes money. It does, because sometimes you don't want to spend 10,000 hours grinding for a fucking skin, you know, and you just want to, like, quickly pay and bypass it. But, you know, so, first of all, people don't have the money for that. Like, it's just overpriced garbage, you know. But actually, no, people surprisingly will fork out some fucking cash for these things. I don't know how it works, but I've had buddies in the past I played games with, and they would not be caught dead buying like a $20, $10, or $5 game that we could play, but they're so down to spend like almost $100 on Fortnite in like a week. And I'm like, why? Because you're not going to use those skins. Or not even just in Fortnite, but like whatever multiplayer game we're playing at the time. And it's just kind of stupid because, I don't know, I always thought when it comes to spending in video games, you can put that $10 towards a game that's like 100 hours. Right? Not saying you have to play for 100 hours, but you know what I mean. There's like a shit ton of content there. But instead, you're putting that $10 towards Toon Toon Sahur on Fortnite. You see what I mean? Like the value there, it's like you can get like the best game you've ever played for like $20. Or you can buy the Toon Toon Sahur set on Fortnite, you know? Or whatever shitty skin is in the item shop. Or like the $40, $50 Siege bundle that got released not too long ago. Just things like that. It's just really disappointing because that, like, we keep feeding these companies our money and telling them that it's okay to do these practices, even though everyone hates them. And it's like, people love to shit on them, but like they actively participate in them, you know? Because I'm not gonna sit here and act like I haven't participated. My Fortnite account is fucking stacked, right? But that's because that's like the only game I played for like a few years. But I've looked at that, right? I've looked at my time with Fortnite, and I just kind of wish I didn't do that, right? So with most games now, I think the last microtransaction I bought that wasn't like a DLC where I can actually like do something in the game, like something that was purely cosmetic, was it was like Christmas time, like this Christmas, and I bought like something in Battlefield 6 because I had like a gift card for Xbox, and then I instantly regretted it because I don't use those skins. Because I don't know, I like the realistic look of the weapons, and I got like this gold AK, and it looks cool. But like, I don't know if I feel like using a gold AK in my realistic military game, or at least visually realistic, you know. Yeah, I can go into like a whole rant about how Battlefield 6 failed, but I'm not really in the mood for that right now. But yeah, just microtransactions combined with the actual quality of these games. Like, I don't think people mention that enough. Like, Warzone is just a reskin of MW19 for the 7th time over. And then Fortnite's just dog shit. Like, none of the systems work well together, at least with OG. Like, the sprinting and the mantling and all these things don't feel good with the size of the map, and just all the stuff in the game just feels weird. And then, like, Siege still looks like a game that was made in, like, Unity in 2012. Like, they've updated it a little bit, but rebranding your whole game, and then adding, like, 2 new textures is kind of shitty and scummy. Because I guess the game was dying because Jinxie's big old cancerous, tumorous ball sack wasn't rubbed all over it. You know, and so no shade at Jinxie or anything, but his fans are just fucking annoying. I'm gonna be honest. This is just a bunch of 12-year-olds that fucking go, "What's up, bro?" And it's just like, it's just annoying. I sound like Will Smith's son when he was on that podcast. You know what I'm referencing? I don't know, but that's kind of how I sounded just now. But or like people watch like Sketch. Those people, like, I don't believe those people exist, man. I don't know. But back to the live service stuff, right? Just I feel like the players that play these games, they don't even really care about the game itself. Because all it takes is, a big streamer to hop onto the next thing, and that's what people are playing. It's like there's no actual dedicated fan base to this thing, and any sort of achievement in the game is purely just for skill. And, that's cool, like being good at a video game. But that comes from enjoying a video game. At least in my experience, I've noticed that. Like any game I've ever been good at, it's because I really like the game. So then I play it a lot, and then I get good at it. And that's pretty like normal thing, right? But I have known people who their entire enjoyment on the game comes from the fact they're good at the game, not from the fact that the game's fun. Because any game I've been good at, it's because the game's fun. And so being good at it just comes with the enjoyment. But when you base your entire enjoyment on the game on how like good you are, I feel like you lose a lot. I don't know. Because it doesn't mean the game's good. It just means that you crushing other people's spirits is what, turns you on, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to pause it real quick so I can think. Because you're not actually enjoying the product that you spent money on, and that you spent so much time in. But another thing is like Game Pass subscriptions and things like that. I know people who have like thousands of hours in games that they don't even own because they've just spent, played it through Game Pass or through PS Plus or whatever. And I get it, because if you're on console, you kind of need the subscriptions for the game to operate. But I feel like if you haven't even purchased the game, like, what are you doing? Like, at least purchase the thing, But most people don't really care these days. Their game could shut off. Their favorite game that they spent hundreds of thousands of hours in, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but you know what I mean, like thousands of hours in, and they just like don't give a fuck, And it's like this. It's because so many people who play games have been dealt this shit for so long that people just don't really care anymore, and that's why I don't really like to buy into them. Because I think the last live service game I bought that was like popular was Arc Raiders, and that was my last video. And honestly, I don't think I went into very much any detail about why I didn't really like the game. But basically, it just feels like another mediocre live service game. And I get it. It's by a slightly smaller company, so people want to support it, and that's amazing. But there's way better developers, way more passionate developers making way better games. And I feel like people aren't really paying attention to them because really, the reason people are playing Arc Raiders is because, like, the fucking Goopy Peanut, or the fuck his name is. Okay, no, it's the Burnt Peanut, but still, that motherfucker. That Chud. Okay, no, he's not Chud. He just annoys me. I have no qualms with the guy, but still, he just annoys me. But, because he plays it, everyone else is playing it. You know what? I want to make a video about Dr. Chud. That's like the Burnt Peanut ripoff. Oh fuck, I'm gonna do that after this. Dr. Chud video, oh my god. Just, drop a comment saying Dr. Chud if you want to see the Dr. Chud video, because Dr. Chud is the Chud. Anyway, I was back to live service games. But anyway, I feel like there is a slight shift. I'm starting to see more and more people appreciate single-player titles like they should, because I hate that it's even put into this category like it's this subpar thing, because it's kind of like what games have been, Like, I shouldn't have to have an internet connection, a 30-day restore license bullshit, and buy it digitally to be able to play a game. I should be able to get a disc, put it in the motherfucker, maybe it downloads, and then I play the thing. Because I understand why downloading is a thing, because most games have such large file sizes, they kind of need to be downloaded so they can run properly. But some games don't need that. Like, why is it I have to download a game that's like 4 gigabytes or less? I can pop in a Modern Warfare 2 disc into a 360 and that thing boots up instantly. Or at least I think so. I haven't actually done that, so maybe I'm bullshitting. But, yeah. Live service games are poopy doopy, and I'm gonna go make a Dr. Chud video. If you want to hear more stuff, more me complaining about video games, subscribe And yeah, do that.